Hey guys, this is Deathdealer and welcome back to Space Engineers. It's been a long time since we played this on the channel. We've just landed on this Earth-like planet with our drop pod here, and I must say this location looks fantastic. This survival series is going to have several goals in mind. I'm going to be covering those right at the end of the video along with the settings we're using for this world. You can also find these in the video description. With that being said, let's do our usual survival stuff. So I've decided to turn off progression for this playthrough because I find it's very limiting on many different playstyles, including my own. So if you guys are going to be following along with this series, turn progression off. Oh, and another thing as well, this location, if you like the look of it just like I do, I've left a GPS coordinate in the description of this video, so you guys can come and play in this area as well. So yeah, usual survival stuff. So we've got a few ore patches on the lake there, which is great. The only problem is I really don't want to mine in this area because it looks really nice. What I'm probably going to do is I'm probably going to end up building a cliffside base over there. But to start off, we'll do a small starter platform right here. Before we do that though, we need to go and collect some stone and throw it into the survival kit to get some basic resources being produced. Alright, so if you look over there in the distance, you can see our drop pod. We walked a fair distance to start collecting stone because yeah, this terrain here was a little bit more rough and I didn't want to put a hole right in the middle of that nice terrain over there. So we came down here, did some mining, and we now have 3.1k of stone. Obviously if you've got larger inventory sizes, you'll be able to collect a lot more. So what you want to do is you want to put this stone inside the survival kit. So just open it up and then put it in there like so. Then what you want to do is you want to go to the production tab and then get ingots being produced. What I like to do is I normally just set 100. We don't have anywhere near enough stone for that, and then it produces all the stuff we need. You may want to make a few more trips to go and collect stone. So after the stone collected is refined, we're going to start work on the starter platform. Now we can't grind down the grid we're currently working on, but I don't like doing that right away. So what we're going to do is we're going to queue up some steel plates and some interior plates. So let's just say 30 steel plates and 20 interior plates. As you can see, we need to go and make another journey to get some more stone. To start off, we're going to make a 3x7 platform of light armour blocks. Alright, there we go. As you can see, I made it go at the exact same angle as this hill here, just to keep it looking good for now. First of all, let's place the survival kit on here, so make sure you're in the middle of the grid. Select your survival kit and orientate it so that the command console is at the front, and then place it like so. The reason we're doing this is there's going to be a conveyor line on each side of this thing so we can connect everything together. So next we're going to place a cargo container. We're going to place that on this side right here, and this will be connected. On this other side we're going to place an O2 generator, so get your O2 generator selected and make sure everything is connected up. Now all we need is a basic refinery and a basic assembler. So we're going to place the basic refinery on this side right here. So get it selected and make sure, just double check that you have the conveyor line going into the O2 generator, like so. And on this side here, we're going to place the assembler. So make sure the conveyor line is running through this thing. The one thing about the assembler is it's only got a conveyor port on one side. So we're going to orientate it like so, and then place it there. So the reason we need the basic refinery and basic assembler is the survival kit can't do anything. It can only refine stone and it can only produce certain components. The basic assembler and refinery can do everything else. Okay, so we have all the basic things in the grid we need, apart from power. Power is an essential part of this game. So what we're going to do is we're going to go with a mix of wind and solar power. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a tower for the wind turbines. You'll probably want to get your hydrogen bottle from the O2 generator in the drop pod. So we're going to make the first tower off the back like so. So place a block here, and then we're going to make this 8 blocks tall. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. Then we're going to place the first wind turbine right here. Oh, this area gets really foggy when it gets to this time of day. Huh, that's really cool. You can't see anything. Once the wind turbine is in place, come down a block and then place blocks like so. Then what you're going to do is you're going to place your wind turbines on the end of these blocks. And there we have it folks, as the fog clears up we now have a basic power grid. Now all we need to do is set up the solar panels and then get some batteries for power storage. Now at the start of the game I tried to rely on wind power as much as possible because solar isn't always as reliable because you know the sun isn't always up in the sky. But what we're going to do here is we're just simply going to place the solar panel at the end of the grid, like so. And then for good measure, you want to place another one. What we'll probably need to do is extend this, and then place that right there. And last but not least, we need a battery, so let's just place that right here. And there we go, everything on the grid behind me is everything you need to start off in your survival world. Let's focus on getting all this stuff welded up. This is going to take quite a long time to get all the resources for. Alright, so we got all 5 of the wind turbines welded up, along with the 2 solar panels, so we should have power for quite a while. Now, what I was going to do was I was going to focus on welding up the battery, so then we can store power, but the survival kit cannot produce the power cells. As you can see right here, we need 80 of them for this thing, so we need to make use of the basic assembly. Now, that requires a bunch of steel, and in order to get all that steel, we'd have to be mining a lot of stone for quite a long time. Alternatively, what we can do is we can start stripping down parts of this, what do you call it, drop pod that have steel in it, so the armor plates, the atmospheric thrusters and that sort of stuff. If we grind this down, or start grinding it down, taking away all the non-core components, it means we will get the starter base up and running much sooner. Alright, so we got the basic assembly welded up, and if we access and then go to the production tab, you can see we now have access to a lot more components, which is awesome. In particular, the pillar cells, which you can see requires iron, silicon and nickel. Now we can get all that from refining stone, it just takes an insanely long time, so we'd be much better off going to the actual ores themselves and taking those, which is why we also welded up the basic refinery. So we can throw all of our ores into this, and it will refine them, and it will get them a lot more efficiently, which is awesome. This means we'll actually be able to get this battery finished and the rest of this platform welded up fairly quickly. Alright, so now we get to the fun part. We now get to go scouting for ores. But before you do that, make sure you take a coordinate of your base, a GPS coordinate. So we're going to go press K, or if you're on console, whatever it is to access your terminal, go to the GPS tab, new from current position, and then we're going to mark this as base. There we go. Now what we get to do is we get to go to all these ore patches, there's a few in the lake here, and we get to prospect for ores. And then you go we're at the first ore node, and we've already found silicon. That is awesome. What I like to do with these nodes is I like to walk to them, I then like to zoom out with my third person camera, and then walk to each edge of this patch of ore, because several different types of ore can spawn in these things. So let's fully scout out this first ore node and see what we've got to offer. Okay, so this ore node has been fully scouted, and we have magnesium, silicon and nickel. Those are some good starting resources. We still have to find a lot of other resources though. We've got iron, which is a big part, gold and silver, which is also really important. Things like uranium don't spawn on planets, so we're not going to worry about that for now. So let's go and find a source of gold, silver and iron. And after only about 10 minutes, we've found all of the ores we need. These ores are cobalt, gold, iron, magnesium, nickel, silicon, even more magnesium there, and silver. Yeah, I forgot to mention cobalt earlier on. And not only that, they're all within only a few kilometers of base. The furthest one is only 3.5 kilometers away over there. So everything is on this ice lake, which is super nice. It does mean, unfortunately, that we're going to have to mine this thing. And I know it's a fantastic spot, but we need to mine it all. Now to start off, I think we're going to go and collect some iron, which is way over there, so that we can get this platform welded up along with this tower, because it is quite weak right now. Alright, so we've got some iron currently being refined, and yeah, that's a lot more than we were getting from the stone. That's a lot better. And we have a bit of a thunderstorm going on right now, so we might see some lightning strikes. Yeah, there you go, there's one. We need to be quick about this, because if one of those lightning strikes hits the base, that could be very bad. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of these guys, if I can actually access this. Come on, no, that's not what I want. There we go. Take this out, put it into the basic assembly. That's where I've been storing some stuff, and then we're going to make, there you go, there's some steel plates. Let's get this thing welded up. Alright, so we got our battery finished and it's ready to go. So the thing about batteries is when you weld them up, they have some power in them because of the power cells you've provided. Now what we need to do is we need to make sure this is on auto. Yes, it is. Cool. Okay, and look at that, fully recharged in 1 hour. That's because the power system we have, while it is decent to start off, it's not optimal. That is mainly because of the solar panels here. Now, as you can see, they're both in 4, but they're only in 4 for certain parts of the day, so we're probably going to eventually make a solar grid array thing that tracks the sun, and that's probably going to be a decent power source there. And these wind turbines, the one at the top is optimal in terms of power generation, but the 4 other ones are only good because their bounding boxes, well, they don't technically bump into each other. The way in which it detects other blocks, the bounding box for that does, so that's why these ones aren't performing as well. The main way we can fix that is just by adding more of these towers, because this is the most optimal setup in the smallest area for these wind turbines. So all we need to do is scale this up maybe 3 or 4 times and we should have a decent power source. With that being said, what we need to do now is we need to get the rest of this stuff welded up. Now fortunately, all of the resources for the O2 generator and the survival kit we can pull straight from the drop pod over there. And before we do that though, we're going to want to make this small cargo container. We need to finish it, we need to get it all welded up, because yeah, we need a decent source of storage in this thing. So let's focus on that and then we can dismantle the dropship. So the cargo container is finally finished and the dropship is no longer there, it's gone. So we are now dedicated to this planet, or this base I should say. We can't leave the area anymore, we don't have a ship. So yeah, that is the starter base technically finished. As I said earlier, you'll probably want to upgrade your power if you've went with the same route I've went. So upgrading your power generation and your power storage, because one battery isn't anywhere near enough. But this will do you for the start of the game. Obviously you can scale up production with a regular assembler and a regular refinery, but that's a lot of resources and it also takes up a lot of power, so you probably want to handle your power generation straight away. One option for power generation is ice. Now obviously we've got a massive ice lake here and there's hydrogen engines in the game, so that's where you put ice into one of those generators and it makes energy. So that's another option we can probably go with, and I think we will in future episodes. Alright, so let's say you want to go AFK in your base, but you're going to be away for a long time. How do you do that safely without dying? Well, there's this thing called a cryopod, and all it is basically it's like a cockpit that you get into and it provides you with lots of energy, but you don't have any control over anything. It's just a cryopod, that's all it is. So we're going to build one on the base. We're going to be putting it right here on top of this cargo container, like so. And then we're also going to pair it up with an air vent, because what this means is, let's say we go AFK, so we go into a cryopod, but we don't have enough ice in our base to make oxygen. We would die in there. So if we have an air vent and we're on a planet with an oxygen atmosphere, we can set this air vent to depressurize at all times, providing us with lots of oxygen. And there you go, we can now safely AFK at our base. Provided, of course, if you're on a server and there's PvP and stuff like that, you probably want to set up a defense network, but we don't need to worry about anything like that. Let's get these two welded up. One thing about the cryopod, you need medical components, and medical components require silver. The only issue is the basic refinery can't process silver. So if you want to go this route, you will need to make the better version of the refinery, which requires a lot more resources. And there you have it. That's how you can start your own survival playthrough. We made a decent amount of progress today. We got rid of the dropship, we made a decent starter base, and we found all of the resources we need nearby in decent quantities. And not only that, we've even found a really nice base area as well. We probably won't be working on the main base for a little while. We'll be living off this grid for a couple of episodes, but we will eventually be moving into that massive cliff face over there, and we'll be making a cliffside base. So stay tuned for that, it's going to look really, really cool. So at the beginning of the video, I said at the end of the video we would cover the goals for this series. So the goals of my playthrough is different to your average playthrough. Obviously I want to go to space and all that stuff, but that's not it. I want to go to every planetary body within the star system, because this is a star system world, and I want to set up a self-sufficient base on each body. I also want to set up lots of cargo ships and stuff like that, and other ships for dedicated uses. I don't want one ship to do everything for me because that's boring. So let's say we have a bunch of items being produced on the surface of a planet and our current area is in space and we're working in space. What we can do is we can send a dedicated cargo ship to that planet and then collect the resources and come back up. It's stuff like that. I want this series to be dynamic. I don't want it to be static and boring. I want a reason to do everything. Not only that, this series is currently vanilla, no mods whatsoever, but later on in the series we will be adding mods as we need them. So this could be like the MechSpecs mining drill, maybe some tiered equipment like thrusters or tools being ship tools, because obviously we've got the character tools, but that won't happen until later on, and even when I do it, I'll probably put it to a community vote. So make sure you subscribe and hit the bell icon so you're notified of all the community posts and everything I put out, because I do use that for voting. And my Discord, I do polls and stuff in there, so make sure you join that. Now that that's out of the way, now that we outlined the goals for the series, why don't we look at the world settings? Okay, so if you guys want to set up the same settings that I have, obviously you've been in the create a world menu, but we've already done that, so we're going to go into the advanced section, and here we go. There's all the settings I have. So I've got character inventory size at 3 times, realistic inventory size for blocks. In fact, I'll just let you guys read that stuff, since saying it is boring. We've got the options are actually in here, but we've got, I think it's high asteroid density as well. We've lowered our view distance, and then we've disabled block limits. This is our day duration, stuff like that, and then there's a bunch of other things we have enabled. So yeah, this should make the series a lot of fun. Hey, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed that, why don't you leave a like and subscribe and hit the bell icon. And hey, why don't you check out this video?